Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Anon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Mike.
Hello.
Good morning. And Spence is here.
Yes, sir.
And Gal is here.
Good morning, everyone.
Nick is not going to be with us today. He's on the way to NAB in Vegas. So wish him a safe trip. Our numbers.
He can't live stream from the airport.
No,
Come on, we have the technology.
Right. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is made possible by vMix Software, Wirecast, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. And Mike, something technical here that I did, and you tell me what you think. I could never monitor the main mix in a comfortable level. It was always blasting. And after last week, and a couple of times that it happened so far, that one channel of the mic will go away, and that's the channel that is apparently going out to the stream, and you can't hear me. When Nick was here last week, we looked at it and I realized I can actually plug the headphone into the Ninja recorder, which has an output, and hear what's going on. Because when you guys, and again, I don't pretend to know how it works, but you guys are hearing me okay, but the stream is not hearing me at all. So did that, but it was a little bit on the low side. So I went ahead and I got that. What is it? Remember that little mixer with the thing that's like the size of a pack of cigarettes. It's not a mixer, but it's the thing I was trying to use for 3 microphones on one input.
I
And
have no idea what you
never
got.
worked. You saw it. Anyway, so I plugged that into the headphone on the mixer and I can control the level. So now it's working okay. So it's like, it's not really a mixer. It's an N Audio Ultra 4-channel line mixer, they call it.
Is it powered or passive?
It's powered.
Okay, so that's fine. It's just volume control.
Yep. And so I just plugged it backwards. I mean, like instead of having the microphone on this side and the output on the other, I reversed it so I can hear it. And it's taking the audio out of the mixer and putting it into the headphone. And it sounds great. It's the first time I'm using it.
Well, if it works, it works.
Yeah. What I did is, and again here, if I move it,
Correct. Yeah,
I
well,
wa
that's gonna be very helpful to the
No,
stream to
no.
not be able to hear what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I know. I what I did is I moved the balance on the channel, the microphone to the right and killed the left channel, and then you st I still don't understand how you hear me, but not the stream. It's like it's only
Because they're
going.
fed from different aux sends. That's got nothing to do with the aux send.
I'm talking about the balance.
Well, the balance is just channel 1, channel 2.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Why would
I
you.
don't know without seeing it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's we're
I
you're just
I I don't
guessing.
know, but that left channel is the one
If it
that's
works, it works.
okay, well, fine. Fine, be like that. It's the same thing that's happening to Nick with his Behringer, and you don't notice it, and when I was monitoring the way that I was monitoring, I I would never hear myself.
Well, Axia makes good consoles. You might ought to get one.
Who?
Axia?
Yeah, right. Good morning.
Wheatstones are made down in New Bern. That would be a good one to get, or Jacksonville.
Yep. Mhm. Right.
They don't break as often as Behringers do.
Wheatstone, is that a tribute to the original Wheatstone Bridge?
I have no idea.
You ever see a Wheatstone Bridge?
I have.
Yeah, it's cool.
I have used one.
It's like the abacus of electrical testing devices.
Anyway, so what's going on?
What's going on?
What happened this week that any you wanna mention?
So I got something. I'll try to dig it out from. Got it on Reddit.
What?
Uh, Apparently, what we've been saying all along has been uh, there's some research now around that, how segmentation in the um, streaming market has pushed piracy up once again. And yeah, and one of the interesting thing from the discussion there that I got was that when Netflix just started and they were the only big player around, and even a bit after that when Amazon joined the bandwagon with Prime, piracy was actually going down because they provided uh, one point, a single point where you can go get your stuff. Most of the stuff was there. If it wasn't there, it wasn't there, but there was enough to supply a demand, right?
Mhm.
And so it piracy really started to slow down. And now with with a person wanting to watch, I don't know, three pieces of content, but they're streamed by three different distribution systems, right? Then the subscription fees they notch up, and you get to pay as much or even more than you would have paid for cable. What the This isn't really big news, but what I really liked about the what I what I would like to quote was they said that the production companies, always complained that piracy was fueled by greed, right?
Mhm.
And this shows that it is exactly that. It is fueled by the greed of the corporations
Mhm.
who want to just get more for what they already have. The best example of this is there is a streaming network, a streaming service dedicated specifically to uh, airing, to broadcasting, streaming Stargate content. Only stuff from a movie franchise and a TV series franchise that is defunct for the past 15 years,
Really?
right? Yeah, you pay $20 a year and you can watch Stargate all the seasons and everything and all that. And they have subscribers, right? It's like it's working for them. Great. But that is exactly the example of 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 where the problem is, right? This is a subscription. This is not somebody buying with I don't know, $100 a Blu-ray box that stays with them and they can play it whenever they want,
Mhm.
right? This is a subscription. The moment they stop paying, they can't see it anymore. It's not theirs. And so, yeah, it was I like the analogy of fueled by greed and you know the nickel and dime psychology of those who are fixated on greed probably have a problem with it themselves. So this is like,
Interesting.
yeah, so
Interesting way to look at it. Yeah.
it was interesting, but it's like that there's no solution in place. It doesn't seem like it's going to change. So cord cutting is just going to be another word for piracy, and it's probably going to be haunted by the corporations, and or there's somebody else will come up with, I don't know, a way of really addressing this issue properly, but I doubt it.
Well, um, talking about TV and the subscriptions and all that, there's a story here about that there's a massive class action suit now accusing AT&T of lying to customers about DirecTV Now when it bought Time Warner. It says at the time they promised customers and investors they would be cutting prices for their streaming service called DirecTV Now. However, the lawsuit accuses the company of switching up TV packages, confusing customers by getting rid of the bundles it had been offering, charging higher prices for new types of bundles, and then bringing back the original bundles at a higher price. Investors were not happy about this because stock prices tanked. DirecTV Now was hemorrhaging customers, losing about 260,000 customers in December. That's a big number. I mean, that's a huge number for 1 month. 200 losing 260,000, and all because they were lying. And these are the things that are leading to piracy. Hey, we paid this and we told this and we got now. Well, I hear there's cord cutting. Let me go look at that because you're not happy with what you're looking at. Uh, I wonder what's going to come out of it. It's just a lawsuit.
More pain for people is what's going to come out of it. Confusion about the market,
Mm-hmm.
people feeling ripped off, and a company that's goes from being deceptive and out of touch to maybe coming to where they actually are advocates for their own customers.
Well,
Deceptive? Come on, they just came up with 5G.
Yeah. Oh no,
deceptive.
it's
No.
5G. It's I put the label on my phone and now it works.
You see
Yeah. Excellent. I
what you can
saw
do. What you can
saw
do is the right font.
yeah, that's it. That determines the speed. Yeah. I saw there was a field test of some of the new 5G technology, and it's just absolutely, I mean, the theoretic numbers, of course, are not going to be what you get, but it's just stunning how fast it is. And you can use it to warm, when you use it, you can warm up your food too with it. It just heats up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pops popcorn, warms up TV dinners, the whole thing. It's great.
So, Gal, you were mentioning, you said that something you started with speaking about Google. The last week was a big week for Google, wasn't it?
Google? I don't know. I haven't tracked it probably.
Oh, a lot of
What do you
things.
mean?
Do you mean a big week in that there were no major scandals?
No, I mean, it's like this. What happened last week with Google?
I have no idea.
Google Plus stopped.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's old news, man.
Google, no, I mean, but last week was the thing. That's it.
Well,
And mail, I mean, mailbox. What is it? Mailbox.
I've been sitting around in the
inbox.
dark feeling
Inbox.
sorry for
Inbox.
myself ever since they announced it.
What? I'm sorry, Spence. What?
I said I've been sitting around in the dark feeling sorry for myself ever since they announced it.
It's you know, uh, uh, Nick we were talking about it, and Nick was saying something. He said, we don't realize this, but if it wasn't Google Plus, we wouldn't have met each other. A lot of these things happened because of Google Plus. The podcasting, Computers 2K now, and all that. I mean, the people that got together because of that. I mean, we would never hear about Andrew over here. Well, we would hear about Andrew some other ways, but a lot of these relationships started because of Google Plus, and that's very interesting. I never used it. Really, never used it. I mean, I had an account to go look, but I wasn't I was never active in it. Brian was, but it created it left its mark on the way things are, and that's interesting. Google Plus.
Google Plus what?
That's it. It's gone. Oh, the other thing. There were three things. Well, there's more. In addition to shutting down Google Plus, Google URL shortener, so there's no more goo.gl. The short, like
Well,
where
I'm guessing they'll keep using it, but only internally.
I don't know.
That's what I'm guessing.
And inbox, and they also stopped selling the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL smartphones. So it's interesting. In 1 week, all these things is just kind of okay. That's it. Enough.
But I think
I'm.
the date was they they published the
Oh
date
yeah.
long before. It was like
Oh,
yeah,
a year ago,
yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah.
They
Oh
gave
yeah.
they gave fair warning and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to see that Hangouts is still here, and that's good because there were questions about whether or not Google Hangouts are gonna
Well,
still work.
there's
But
a lot of services that there are that if they go away from Google, I don't know how Google is making any money on them, but it's gonna hurt a lot of people if they take it away. For example, Google Voice, right?
yeah,
Google Voice goes away, it's a complete ecosystem that goes away. Um, uh,
true.
right? OBHI, which sells voice over IP for Google Voice, Uma does the same. Um, it's suddenly they don't have the major pull for new customers, and their existing customers they'll suddenly disappear, right?
Mhm.
So
So with Google Voice, was what we see now that their end game, or is this still an
They're
evolving service that is going to be something else?
no, they're not ending Google Voice.
No, no, I know
no,
that.
no, no,
I'm
no.
just asking. I'm just asking. So from the perspective of where Google Voice is going, I'm just trying to get to the point of
As a
what
user, I'm a
what would
user,
they
so I
do?
can tell you. As a user, it seems that it's not being developed in any way. It doesn't seem that they're going to add anything on it. What it does very well. It provides them it provides them two things. Okay, it provides them one. It provides them their you can pay for international calling through them. So that's one aspect. I doubt the revenue stream is meaningful, but I have no idea. I've never looked into it. It's not an aspect that I'm using anyway. And the other is, at least for a voicemail, everything is recorded and transcribed. So I'm guessing they're using that for analysis of voice. So the data coming in for voice analysis uh, probably helps them in their other products that are based on voice, like YouTube, auto captioning, and stuff like that. Whether that's what they're doing or not, I have no idea. But it
Yeah,
doesn't seem like the service is going in any direction, either up or down.
Just maintaining.
Yeah,
if
they
I look
did.
at
They did update it about, I don't know, 2 years ago, a year ago, something like that. Gave it a facelift on the website. The app got updated, something that didn't happen a long time and was causing some issues with some of the latest Samsung phones at the time, for example. But yeah, on an Android platform, right, it can take over phone calls completely, something it can't do on iOS. But on the Android platform, if you have that installed and you have an account, you can make all of your calls go out of Google Voice. So that's very convenient. That's why I'm saying uh, if they shut that down, it's going to be it. It's not going to go softly like Google Plus. Google Plus, it's like there are some nice articles about what it meant when it was around, whether it was important or not, but doesn't feel like anybody really, really was passionate about it, right? Google Voice is going to hurt if it goes away, and because there's very little talk about it from Google, you never know their feeling about it, right? You never know whether it's an important service or not.
Hmm. That's
I was thinking of it from the perspective of like how Microsoft evolved their voice support into their app, into their basically into their Office applications, and to see if there was a desire there on Google's part to actually have integration of voice into, you look at the web apps. Yeah, it's not there yet. They don't have click to call within, Google Docs, for example, the way Microsoft has click to call within Word and Excel and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just was
Well,
interesting to see.
Google Voice, I mean, Google has Hangouts, they have Duo now, which is unclear, right? Which are they betting on? Because they are pretty much competing products. Um, Voice is a beast of its own because it's tied to phone numbers. So it's something different. But yeah, I didn't see any attempt to integrate anything across that. I mean, the only truly integrated voice service right now is Hangouts. Hangouts is still integrated into Gmail a bit, right? There's like some sort of link between them, but yeah, it doesn't seem like they're big on integration. They never were, actually.
I'm wondering what's going to happen now that they are sort of like back in the news with all these technologies. If more and more people will say, "Oh, well, let me look at Google Voice," and anybody can get into it. I mean, it doesn't cost anything.
Mhm.
Um, I remember in the early days, Mike had us get numbers, and I actually got one for for here for the studio. And the reason why we did not keep on using it is found out that when you're on a call with somebody and somebody else calls, right away they knock them off the air and the new call comes in. This is in the early days.
Oh, okay.
And it may have not been configured right, maybe I didn't do it right, but the thing is, you couldn't do it because I remember that one show that people kept calling back and forth, the same two people just to get on the air, and there was no way to stop and say, I don't wanna get any more calls. This guy's on, and I don't wanna get any more. So, we stopped using it and went to Skype. Um, I don't know how it is now. As far as I know, also with Google Voice, you cannot port your number to, correct? Still cannot.
You can,
They did not. I
but
mean,
I think only cellular numbers,
only what?
only mobile numbers can be ported. I
Oh,
think maybe that's the problem. I know people who have ported their number into Google Voice.
okay. That
So
that was not
yeah,
available back then. But yeah, no, Jason, that's his main number. That's how he's using. And it's amazing how creative you can be with Google Voice and what you can connect to it and how it works. It's not just a phone number coming in and you answer. There's a whole lot more to it than you can do with it, and that's very interesting. Now, so Google Plus is no longer. They threatened and they delivered on their threat.
well, Gab is replacing their place. No, they start with a G.
919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Let's go to Windows 10. So Microsoft has announced that starting with Windows 10 May 2019 update, which will hit general availability late next month, users would no longer be forced to install new Windows 10 feature updates as they become available. This comes after feedback from users who have had countless issues with updates breaking programs, losing files, and installing at inconvenient times. Microsoft has been working hard to improve Windows updates. And while the system is better than it was at launch in 2015, it's still not perfect. Now, users will have the option to not have to deal with feature updates when they are released. So, in essence, only the quote unquote important security updates will be forced on you, and feature updates are not. Yeah, it's up to you to install them or not. Um, it's a good thing. I mean, to have Windows 10 Professional or Windows 7 more than, I mean, higher than home, because you don't have to install it when it wants, and you can see after a week or two, yeah, everything is okay, nobody's complaining, so let me do the update. Here, it's gonna sort of like be in the same situation. Is We don't know what KB 769272 is going to do to uh, a program that you're running. You don't know. Nobody knows until it happens. So it's sort of like, okay, I'm not going to be a guinea pig. I'm going to not install these and wait until I hear. But it may be that nobody else is using a certain program that you're using, and when you install it, not knowing, you say, okay, there are no problems. I don't hear a big outcry. Then I'm going to install it. It's it helps, but it's not going to save you from failures if something is going to break or not. And it's not specific. I mean, it may be breaking Windows, I mean, Microsoft Word, only under your circumstances, maybe nobody else, and it's going to happen. So uh, it's nice that they're doing it, but it's not going to. I don't think it's going to be 100% foolproof that not guarantees you that it's not going to break anything. But at least you'll be able to see if something serious is going on with that update, and you can say, "Oh, I'm not going to do it until they issue a fix." Uh, Mike loves those updates when they come in and they break things, right, Mike? Mike is not listening to me.
Yes, it's my favorite thing of all time.
I so talking about Windows updates. So on the computer that Kathy's using, my wife, it's Windows 10 Professional, and it does the updates when it wants to. It's fine. Yesterday, I heard the login music from the porch. So I went over there and I saw that it just rebooted. I said, okay, it must have done an update. Okay, fine. A couple hours later, Kathy came and said, the links from within emails don't work. And I said, really? So I went and I started EM client, and sure enough, I'll click on a link. Nothing happened. So I went to look. I mean, I know it's supposed to open Chrome on her machine. Started Task Manager, and there were about 13 Chrome, uh, Google Chrome processes. So apparently it was trying to open. And so I killed them all, and then everything was working. So I asked her, I said, did you do something and leave Windows open? She said, I just got on this. I haven't checked email in a few days. And it sort of like doesn't make sense to me that, and it may be the way that things work. If Chrome is running and it may be hung or whatever, and Windows rebooting, does it put all these back into the memory, into the work, and says, "Oh yeah, there were 7 instances of Chrome open, so let's open them too." I thought it will reset all these things, and
Well, it
apparently
does. Yeah, it does try to return to the previous
to the
state,
previous.
but I don't think it runs all of the Chrome services. It probably runs the master service process. Sorry, not service process. But yeah, no,
I don't know. It was weird.
so after you killed Chrome, everything worked.
Everything worked fine,
Yeah.
and it's still working. I tried it this morning, and yeah, it's fine. And there are no more processes in the task manager. But I opened it and I see
Yeah.
Chrome, 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 Chrome. I said, "What the hell?"
Well, that's Chrome for you.
Yeah. Let's see. Facebook also has been in the news this week. Now, there were a couple of things. You know how we always say, if you put it on Facebook, it'll always be there. It'll never go away. You cannot remove it. Well, apparently, Facebook now is saying that they lost hundreds of thousands of Mark Zuckerberg's
Oh yeah.
posts. They're
I read
gone.
that.
Somebody deleted them by mistake. And I'm sitting there reading this and I'm saying, well, why don't you make that a feature? Let us do it too. It's just amazing. And these are old posts that they're saying something about that show all kind of high points and things that happen at Facebook at certain times, and shows how it went. And I mean, positive. They're spinning a positive look at it saying these posts were really important to us. We wanted to keep them. I've got the
I'm
feeling that they deleted something that could have screwed Facebook up. I don't know. You were saying, God.
I'm sure they'll be able to get them back by the community. They'll be happy to send it back to them.
Yeah, I was saying, well, go to archive.org. You may find it there. But here's something else, and this is bothers me. Just 2 weeks after admitting it stored hundreds of millions of its users' own password insecurely, Facebook is demanding some users fork over the password for their outside email account as the price of admission to the social network. Facebook users are being interrupted by a demand they provide the password for the email account they gave to Facebook when signing up to, quote, continue using Facebook. You'll need to continue using Facebook. You'll need to confirm your email. That's what the message demands. Since you signed up with, and they give you the email address, you can do that automatically. A form below the message asks for the user's email password. Why in the world would Facebook ask users for their email password?
Oh, they used to do that when you register.
No, you're not
Uh,
supposed to do it. You go
no, no,
and
no.
oh,
It wasn't mandatory, but they used to do that. So the reason was, hey, let us look at your contact list from email, right? And we'll tell you who's on Facebook. So it's not something new, but what's new is, if what you're reading is precise, is that they are demanding this as a condition to
is
continue working with it.
right.
Doesn't make sense.
That's and I'm sure people will be doing it, and they will be typing their password there, not knowing that things can happen here. I mean, here's another way that you may be able to get out of Facebook. Don't put it there. Now, what's going to happen? Are they going to delete all my content? Are they going to purge me? Great. I don't know.
Well, you can easily uh, disable your account. It's not that hard today.
Look,
It used to be hard, but today
I
it's easy.
disabled and closed my account on LinkedIn months ago, almost a year, right after they had the breach.
Okay.
I am still getting emails from them. They said it'll take about 10 days. I said, okay. I'm still getting emails from LinkedIn. Such and such was looking you up and, and when I go there, I cannot sign in because I don't have a password anymore. But apparently the system still has me in there.
Did
And
you try to did you try to do a search on yourself? Just casually? Because I don't
mm,
remember if they still let non-log if you're not logged in, people search. Used to be that you could put a link out there for public consumption. Let me try. I'll see if you're
uh,
still
it,
show up as
it's
an
it's
entity
just,
there.
I mean, when I see something coming from LinkedIn, I mean, it may be bots, but it seems to me that they're still think something. I don't know if there was something about upgrading, but I get messages from them.
Uh, you are still there, but it's a blank. If you do a search
Yeah,
on LinkedIn Amnon Nissan, it
yeah,
shows you owner Delta Force, Raleigh, North Carolina.
right.
It shows 2 connections,
You see why? I closed the account.
and it says view Amnon Nissan's full profile. It's free. So this is just coming in
Yeah.
without being logged in. So
I
you're
mean,
still
I
there.
don't think there was at any time again, the LinkedIn account, I set it up, I never used it.
Yeah.
I would go there and people would want me to. to add
Well,
me.
you
They
you
wanted to
still
add me,
exist.
but so that's the thing, Gal. We're going back. So on Facebook, yeah, you can remove your stuff, but will it be removed?
Wasn't that
That's
wasn't that a recent controversy about them not offering a concise way for all your records to be purged? People were
I,
complaining that they left and the stuff was not being removed from their database, and they were like, "Well, that was in the terms of service. You really don't have you can't do it." And that was something I think it came up in some type of government hearing about having a kill button, basically that says get rid of everything. Just click here and it's done.
I mean, that's what GDPR requires. If they don't have that, then they'll be fine.
Let's hope so.
well, you think they're worried about a fine?
A fine up to $4 billion. Yeah, I think they are.
And where does the fine go? That's the question.
The European Union.
No, but I mean, what do they do with it? Does it
Hmm.
go into their slush fund?
Well, we can ask GDPR.
Because here in the United States, it would go into funding more studies on whether snails can run on a treadmill or lobsters can run on a treadmill.
Oh,
20
Spence.
million. Sorry, not 4 billion. 20 million or up to 4% of the annual worldwide turnover of the proceeding for the
Ooh,
financial year. Um,
lunch money.
Exactly.
4%, that's too much money. Come on, man.
Hmm.
I'm trying to see if there's any record of fines already, because there were a few.
Did anybody in the chat, or I mean, I don't think anybody here did it. Did anybody delete their account from Facebook, and it really got? Or do you know of somebody that removed themselves from Facebook and really it was removed?
I know of
Let's,
people that removed it, but I have no idea if they checked.
yeah.
So Google was fined for 50 million euros back in January. I'm guessing that's still going on. There's a Portuguese hospital and a German social network. But those are the only three that are mentioned in the Wikipedia. I don't know whether the Wikipedia
Mm.
is kept updating or not.
Interesting.
Page. Yeah. There's not much information in a single place. I don't need to research that. It is interesting.
Don't waste your time. It's fine. The bottom line is they're going to do whatever they want to do. I was remember we were talking about the fact that Bezos now wants Alexa to have something to do with medical records. Well, I read a story that said that Alexa can now handle medical records. Oh, really? They do what they want.
Well,
Um.
did you see?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. You go ahead.
I was going to say, did you see how supposedly now Microsoft is going to let us choose when to install Windows 10 updates and delay them almost indefinitely? I tell you, it's a revenue stream for me for having people get messed up machines from Windows updates happening during the day while they're working. I'm not sure I want it to go away, but they're saying now with the next release in May, the next feature update, that it should allow across all of the different versions of
Yeah, that
Windows.
was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't do it with Windows Home. I think there were in Windows Professional or Enterprise, you may have been able to do it, but I did it on my Windows Pro machines, but it was a set amount of time. You couldn't go past that.
Yeah,
And
365 days.
yeah, but now it's supposed to be indefinite. So build 1903 is coming in May. I tell you, I've just in the last 2 months, I've had three three different times I've had to go and fix machines that where they were working during the day, stepped away for a minute. Windows launched an update right in the middle of the day, and they lost their data, or the machine got stuck in an update loop, or just
Mhm.
typical stuff. Crazy.
Yep.
Yep,
All right, Spence, are you ready for specials?
I can. Hold on a second. I'm gonna find the. Actually,
Ta-da!
give me one moment because I just got an inquiry from downstairs. Oh, here it is. Yep, never mind. Thank you. Okay. So, all right. Let's see. Where the heck is my screen here? There we go. All right. So, Computers 2K Now specials for it's April 7th already. This is crazy. Time is passing too quickly. All right. Starting with laptops, we have at Best Buy.
You're not gonna talk about the headers,
Oh, I can.
Please.
I tell you, I have so much fun. That's the last thing I do at the end of putting the specials together. And it can take anywhere from, well, typically it takes me about 2 hours to go through everything and get it organized. And since I've added, dedicated fries every week and coming up with unique pictures every Sunday too. But it's a lot of fun to go ahead and do this. So, and every week they look better because I'm just figuring out how to do how to adjust the images better. So it's maybe I'll actually get to the point where I can start to do some memes. You got to Amnon, you got to show Waiter some of the memes that came out this week, especially the animated memes about Joe Biden. It was absolutely amazing. Did you see the one?
Copyrights.
Oh yeah, but you know, the meme, the Joe Biden meme that came out.
Oh, with
We'll
the
talk.
arms.
Yeah, fondling himself.
Yeah.
It was great. Okay, so laptops at Best Buy, we've got a Dell 13.1 inch Ryzen 5 laptop for $599. Is 100 off. It's worth mentioning that AMD is getting a big boost from sales from their new processors. They're being very successful right now. They have some other issues going on internally, but the new processor line has been very well received among manufacturers. You're starting to see a lot of machines come out, both in the desktop and the um, mobile, laptops. Office Depot has a Pavilion 15.6-inch Core i7 for $629. That's 170 off. And Staples has a Ryzen 7 laptop for 479. If that's the equivalent of a i7, and they're saying it's pretty close, that is a good price.
Mhm.
That's $170 off, 479. Desktops, all-in-ones. I usually don't put too many all-in-ones out there, um, but these are particularly good machines from a functionality perspective. Um, the Best Buy machine is a 23.8-inch touchscreen all-in-one Intel Core i3 for $679, which is 70 off. Office Depot has a Ryzen 5 8 gig, 1 terabyte, a Ryzen 5 desktop machine for $399, 180 off. And this is the machine. This is an expensive machine. This is a um, Intel i5. I think it's an HP machine. I'm sure it's not on. It's not in the. I covered over the original description because I wanted to mention a few things of what was in this machine and why I mentioned it. It's $1,000, $1,029, $150 off, but it's a 27-inch touchscreen. It's 8 gig of RAM and 16 gig of what Intel calls their Optane uh, memory which is designed specifically for cache between RAM and storage. So this is designed to be a really fast machine. UHD graphics, five USB 3.1s, two US 3.1Cs, HDMI out. That's why I mentioned this. This is a screamer of a machine, and it's a touchscreen.
It's an on
1029, 150.
it's
I'll
an
talk. We can
all-in-one.
talk a little bit more about Optane later because they've made some announcements this week about the Optane line from Intel. What's that?
It's an all-in-one.
It's an all-in-one. Yes, all-in-one. So
Hmm.
if you, this would be, I would consider a more professional machine, professional desktop that you need high performance. Obviously, the 16 gig of Optane is going to make the I/O on this extremely fast. And the UHD graphics, it's a high-end Intel graphics. It's a good machine. Buy me one, please.
Mhm.
I'd like to test it. All right, tablets. As I've said before, I'm not an advocate of dropping a tablet into an 18-month-old kid's hands just to keep them busy, but they do serve a purpose if you're a good parent and monitor what they're used for and have control over what kids play. Amazon Fire HD Kids Tablet 8-inch, 32 gig for $99. That's 30 off at Best Buy. A Lenovo 11.6-inch touchscreen Chromebook um, at Office Depot for $269, which is 30 off. And Staples has an Acer Spin 3 14-inch notebook uh, convertible to tablet for $469, which is 180 off. And anytime you see that the band around the store symbol is not the same color as the letter, you know that it's not part of the actual weekly ad, but it is on sale. Networking. Best Buy has the Asus AC2600 dual band Wi-Fi router, 149.99 is 30 off. It also serves as a hand dryer, like the Dyson hand dryer. Just put your hands up in front of the fan blows. It's great. You can keep it in the bathroom. Office Depot has a TP-Link AC 1750 dual band gigabit router, the Archer C8 for $89. And Staples has a Netgear uh, AC 1700 combination cable modem and Wi-Fi router for 159, which is 30 off. This does have 16 by 4 cable modem in it and NAS port, so you can create network storage with it. It's a USB 2.0 port, but depending on what you're doing with it over the network, just using it for backup or just access to files that don't have to be extremely fast, it's handy. Storage, we have at Best Buy, Western Digital Easy Store 1 terabyte USB 3.0 portable drive for $54.99. That's $45 off the regular price. Office Depot has a 32 gig combination USB 3.0 Lightning backup device. So you can actually plug this into your iOS device and plug it into your other storage, your PC to do backups. Handy. It's coming down in price. This used to be very expensive. Now it's for $29.99, which is 40 off. Staples has a Seagate 8 terabyte USB 3.0 external hard drive for $149, which is $30 off. Accessories, we have at Best Buy easy VHS to DVD 3 plus Windows software, $39.99. That's 30 off. If you still haven't converted some of your old VHS tapes, do it while your VCR still works. Take advantage of it. This has the USB capture device built into it, or it comes with the software. There's lots of versions of this out there. You can get it cheaper on Amazon. There's no name brands, but think about it. This is actually a good deal for this as a more quality product. Office Depot has the Logitech MK550 wireless wave keyboard and mouse combo for $44.99, which is 35 off the regular price. Staples has a Logitech over the ear, it says over the head, I should say. This is on the ear USB headset and microphone for $29, which is 10 off. Monitors, we've got a 24-inch FreeSync monitor, LG at Best Buy for $109, which is 90 off. Office Depot has an Acer 27-inch full HD monitor for 139, which is 40 off. And Staples has a what is now an entry level monitor, 22 inches. Can you imagine? Um, Dell monitor with HDMI for $99, which is 60 off.
And you should always pay attention where it says non-mountable. If you
Yes,
think
yes, it
about
does not
having
have a Visa. It does not have the Visa screws built in,
right,
so you'll have to mount it with duct tape or Velcro. Printers and scanners, Brother MFC L2750 DW at Best Buy for 181, which is $68 off. If it's a weird price like this, it means it's either a closeout or something like that, but that doesn't mean it's not a good deal. This would be considered a higher duty cycle business class machine from Brother. Office Depot has a HP black and white laser jet pro for $99. It's 30 off. This is a printer. I put printer scanner copier. It is not. It's just a printer there. I think that was left over from what I used last week. So I apologize for that. It is just a printer. Staples has an Epson Workforce ES60W wireless portable scanner for 129, save 30 bucks. Home automation and security. We've got at Best Buy an Arlo Pro 2 6-camera indoor-outdoor wireless security camera system for $899.99. That's 200 off. This is pricey, but it's well made, and it does have a battery, or I think they'd have some type of charging system for the Arlo now. But this is a system that gets good battery life because it doesn't record all the time. It can be set to record on motion detection. Uh, but people who have this really like it. I think it's expensive, but it does suit certain needs. When you put it up outside, it has these magnetic mounts, and you have to put it up high enough so people can't steal it. I think they might have a fixed mount now for outdoors too. But check it out before you buy it. Here's
Right.
an
But
interesting.
then
What's that?
this is something I don't get. You need to put it high enough so people can't take it because it's wireless and it's mountable
Magnets.
with
magnets.
magnets, and it makes sense because you need to charge it from time to time. So
Right.
you need it to be reachable.
Yes, I
Like
know. That's why I said think about
there's
it before
something
you
in the
buy it.
design that isn't exactly there. I know.
People
Yeah.
people that have it really like it. I've talked to people, "Oh, yeah, I love it, love my system." It's like, I'm a wired guy when it comes to security
Yeah,
cameras. Even if they're wireless cameras, you still have to provide power to them, whether and
exactly.
now they're coming out, thank goodness, with solar charged cameras, which is a great idea too,
Hmm.
but you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Reaching down into the web page to look for an interesting device for home automations and security at Office Depot because they didn't have anything in their ad. I came up with this iKey Pro Bluetooth Smart Safe that comes with a secure mounting bracket that you can put it in a closet, in a drawer, or something like that. 148.99. And when you open the door on this thing, there's a big wheel in the back that you can unscrew it and remove it from the bracket. But it does work with Bluetooth. You can open it with Bluetooth with a Bluetooth
What
device with
does
the
it
app
do,
on it.
Spence?
What?
What does it do?
It's a safe.
Oh,
You store stuff in it. It's not big enough for a laptop, but you can put valuables in here.
mhm.
And, it's an interesting thing I hadn't seen before. So, and Staples does have a sale on the Ecobee 3 Lite thermostat. That's not their latest generation. The Ecobee 4 actually has built-in Alexa, which I wouldn't want. But Ecobee Lite means it has no uh, remote sensors with the bundle. You can buy them separately. But $139.99, which is $30 off the regular price at Staples. It's not a circular sale from this week, but it is on sale. Okay, fries. I had to put this up here because these were so inexpensive, but yet in some ways so totally useless. Because serving all those people that still have cassettes in their cars, they have two versions of cassette adapters. One is just a plain cassette adapter for $2.99, and that's $2 off the regular price. One is a cassette adapter that actually has a plug-in microphone built into the cable. That's also $2.99. Used to be $4.99. So if you've been looking for one of these, you've been waiting to find a sale. My goodness, here it is. The shipping is probably more than the price of the product. They also have a small Retrack, which is the company we're sponsoring or we're showcasing here, has a small 2.1 amp car charger for the cigarette lighter for $1.99, and also auxiliary cable and mic for hands-free calling for $1. So there you go. We have two CyberPower battery backups today. $29 for the 450 VA and $79 for 950 VA. Good products.
Yep.
And lastly here, all right, what's wrong with this picture? It's not necessarily wrong. I said, what's ironic, I should say, about this picture?
One camera is $26.99. The other one is $349.
Yeah. That's because the Cobra is a knockoff of GoPro. Now, this is a newer Hero 7 camera from GoPro. They keep improving it, but the prices are coming down, but they're not coming down fast enough.
It's actually $17.
Yeah, it's $16.99, that other camera with the promo code. But I have one of these knockoffs that I paid $70 for about 3 years ago, and now they're down to where you can buy them on Amazon in the 20-something dollar range.
And
if you can get past the kind of wonky menus that they have, these cameras work. I've used it multiple times, and I actually bought a second waterproof case because it's actually based on the standard case that would work with the older GoPros. I bought another case, and I drilled a hole in the side because I wanted to have a way of mounting the camera securely in potentially a hostile, not a wet environment necessarily, but I wanted to plug the power cable in because you can record and charge at the same time, because I wanted to do an 8-hour time lapse. And I knew that the battery in the camera wasn't going to last 8 hours. So I had to set up. This is when I was on a cruise ship going through the Panama Canal. And I found a place on the ship where somebody wouldn't bother it. And I set it up and I put my power pack next to it. And I was always close by so I could see that nobody would mess with it. But it was great. I don't know that I would buy a regular GoPro at this point, not for the price, when I can get similar features. I mean, this thing is 1080p. And yeah, the GoPro is 4K, but you can get 4K versions of these knockoff cameras. They're a little bit more.
And you really need 4K. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I need it. I'm sure. I can see it.
Yep.
Like I have a way to show it. I don't.
So you can laugh about 4K. There is one.
Wait, can you write down to talk about it when we're done with the?
Sure.
Let Spence finish.
Yeah. Let's finish it. Yeah.
All right, Spence.
Finally, wait, there's more. I came across Casa is a new brand name from TP-Link for newer products, and they've got a whole new product line under the Casa name that's come out. And I found two of them. Now, these are not on sale. These are from the Staples General webpage, but interesting. They have something called a Casa Smart Wi-Fi Outdoor Plug. This is obviously not meant for underwater, but it can be used outdoors. So each of those two outlets are individually controlled, and it works with Alexa without a hub over Wi-Fi, which I thought was great. $44.99, and then they have a new camera, Casa Smart Spot KC100 for $49.99, which also works with Alexa. And I'm wondering now, what could you do with a security camera with Alexa? I don't know.
Oh,
Unless you say, well, Alexa, record save the last 20 minutes of video from my camera. Is that what they do?
Yeah.
well, I don't know about that specific command, but one of the things, especially with a Fire TV box or the Alexa view. You can say, Alexa, show me the front door or
Oh,
whatever.
then that's very useful.
Yeah,
Good. Okay.
yeah.
I figured it was that. I was trying to be funny.
Or
But,
if you mounted your
yeah.
cameras somewhere where they're not reachable, you can.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. All right. So, Office Depot has a 1100 kVA battery backup pro from APC for 149.
Very good one.
That is a good one. Yes, it's got a lot of good features on it too, like soft shutdown and
Mhm.
other things, monitoring. Best Buy has a Bluetooth 4.0 USB adapter for $14.99, saves $6. So if you have a device, a computer that doesn't have Bluetooth, typically older desktops are now coming with Bluetooth. But if you have one that doesn't and you want to use a Bluetooth device, here you go. You want to upgrade uh, a laptop Bluetooth connection to 4.0 for more features.
Mm.
Inexpensive. And then Best Buy has a Roku 4K streaming with the, I don't know which one this would be. Doesn't actually tell you the model, but $87.99, which is $12 off. And having the headphone jack built into the um, remote, it says it comes with JBL headphones. I don't know how much that's worth. But Office Depot now has, this is an interesting device. I just did a search on network devices, and I should have changed the symbol on this to be with the orange band to say that this was not a sale price. I used to have a secure travel router, and I still have it on the shelf over here. I can't remember the name of it, but it came with an Ethernet port. And what you would do is you plug it into the wired networking when you travel in the hotel or whatever, and you'd set up your own access point. This is the same thing, except it's got a few more things going on for it here. The other one I have actually did have a USB slot to plug it into a USB modem, so you can connect it to your broadband. So this is cool, travel size Wi-Fi router, but it also supports what they call WISP, which is wireless um, service providers, not just going across connecting as a broadband connection to your cell phone provider. So Ethernet 4G WISP, uh, TP-Link AC 750 travel size Wi-Fi router, $44.99. If you do a lot of traveling, if you're in a lot of mixed environments, trade shows and things like that, or where you need to have Wi-Fi on a casual basis, this is a great product, I should say. I don't know if it's a great price, but a good product from TP-Link. And then finally, at Fryers, we've got an 8-in-1 film to digital converter. This is another thing. If you've got 35 millimeter slides, any kind of negatives, it will work with. Also, I should say, this is just film. This is not going to work with prints. So this is designed specifically for film slides, negatives. $119.99, save $20. And then it's $89.99 with a promo code.
Oh,
And
it has
fine.
a
What's that?
screen.
Yeah, it's got a 4-inch screen, which is nice. And finally, they have an HP F230 dash cam with a very important that it's got a built-in shock sensor, so it would detect an accident. So if it's not recorded, it would be usually what happens is it'll record and keep over recording, but if you have an accident, it'll go back and make sure it saves like 2 minutes before and keeps recording after the accident is over and saving it. So that's a nice feature. But it's 49.99, but it's 34.99, 10 additional dollars off if you do the promo code. And that's it for specials for April 7th, 2019.
Thank you, Spence.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. God, let's go back to the 4K.
Yeah, so the one place where you want 4K is not recreational photography and stuff like that, is security. Dash cams, where the details like a license plate,
Mhm.
the chances of it being exactly at the center of focus is so slim that you want a sensor that is going to capture things that you didn't think you'll need until you need them. So the 4K dash cams, for example, definitely worth it. If you're, if I'll give you a situation that my wife went into. Uh, Somebody, she was standing in a red light. Somebody knocked her from the back. He was distracted, probably on the phone or something. So they talk a bit, and the dash cam. We have a dash cam, an older one, and mm, I can hear them talking. They agree to find a spot where they're not interfering traffic. They go to that spot. Mati, my wife, she stops at one side. The guy, he does sort of a U-turn and parks on the other side of the street. And when she heads to the car to get a pen, he enters his car and he just drives away. So in the frame, he is only for 2 seconds in the frame, on the very side of the frame when he does that U-turn. And that camera that we use is a 180, and I couldn't get the number out of it. I couldn't. I tried every forensic processing tool I could find. Nothing could extract the details there. There's not enough pixels for the information to be extracted from. Now, if he was in the center of the frame, it would have caught it, not a problem. But because it was on the side of the frame, and because there weren't enough pixels, right, then we couldn't identify it. We showed it to a cop later, but other than making out the general shape of the vehicle, right, we have nothing. So a dash cam, for example, would be very beneficial
Yeah.
to be 4K. Security camera in an external security camera will be very beneficial being 4K. And yeah, so recreational, less important. You're controlling the focus usually, right? And the chances that you're gonna miss a detail that was there, that is less important. It's nice to have, but it's less important. When it comes to security, definitely worth shelling out a bit more. And
It's
today they're
very
cheap.
it's
And
very
today they are
important to have good 4K in your dash cam, so when the meteor goes
Oh
over,
yeah.
that we can't miss that stuff.
No,
What
you want to
what
see the aliens on the meteor? Come on.
That's it. And, golly, you should get a hold of the people at the CTU on 24, because they have software that they can take a really blurry image and they can crank away at it for like several hours and show the person's face. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Well, his face isn't
Interpolation.
there. The problem was
Well, they have software that interpolates it and invents the face.
yeah,
So that's it.
the inventing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, remember Jack Bauer?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that when that was a show, it was a good thing. It was good.
Yeah.
The last attempt when they made that mini movie thing, it was kind of sad because it's like, yeah, this used to be good, but it isn't anymore.
I mean, a lot of these um, features that we see on these shows that, they don't make sense, but they give companies ideas what to develop next.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. So let's see what we can do to come up with something like that. Yeah,
I think it may be the backwards of that. I think what we're seeing is a
stuff that
glimpse
failed.
at what's really out there that we can't know the whole story.
Well,
You remember
maybe.
the Hunt for Red October, the movie? What a
Yeah.
great movie that was, right? Well, they actually, the Navy was working with them to make that movie. And they actually, the Navy came to them and said, look, you're going to have to change your displays for the sonar because it's too close to the way we really do it. And they had to basically dumb down what they were showing on in the movie because the people in the show actually either knew something or were very smart at basically showing what technology is probably out there.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So talk about theories and stuff. Y'all remember OS2 Warp?
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I read about that.
I had it on a 386 SX machine when I worked at IBM.
Yeah, there's a new version.
Yeah, there is a new version.
That never went away.
No,
There are
no, I
people
know.
that still use it. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that was
But
like
now,
Windows NT fixed, right?
they're merging with another organization. OS2 Warp and Flat Earth Society merge.
okay.
Oh,
OS2 World News Master Martin Turbide writes that the OS2 community expects that this action will benefit the platform by getting the funds to finally create an open source clone of OS2. OS2 World asks every OS2 user to start believing that the Earth is flat to get big bucks that will finally turn the operating system into a Windows 10, Ubuntu, macOS X, and Android competitor in the final OS wars of all ages.
This sounds like an Onion newscast.
OS2 and Flat Earth.
Okay. I wonder where that
yeah,
came.
They were.
Don't laugh. I read stories about these flat Earth people, and they're like literally afraid to go on a cruise because they say that the ship would just literally go off the edge if they went. It's like, come on, it's crazy.
You
I want to know how.
unfortunately, Raleigh, right, is the center of the
Yep.
world
Yep.
for flat
Flat
Earth,
Earthers?
right?
Oh,
Yeah, there was an international flat Earth gathering
Yeah.
back 2-3 years ago, something like that.
Conference. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh boy.
I read about it like a year or two after when it was like, oh man, I'm in the center of that place. What I don't get is, right, some of the people there stepped on a plane,
Yep.
right, to come here,
Yep.
and they still think the world is a disk.
Yep.
Ah,
Yeah, you need to put one of them in a spaceship. Send them up to the International Space Station for free. Say we need an observer to go up here. Notice the kind of curvature of the Earth and the fact that we're orbiting and going around. Oh no, it was all made up. It's all fake.
no. It's all VR.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. It's all
Oh,
VR.
man.
Oh, during the specials, I mentioned something about Intel Optane.
Yeah.
You okay to talk about it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have a very high end memory that was originally designed to be placed on the system board itself. I don't know if it's got I think it has a socket, but it's designed to be a cache between the processor and storage, and to
Yeah.
speed things up. Very, very high performance. And now they've rolled out uh, memory DIMMs. They said they were going to do this for a while. Very, very fast. But here's what it does. It's got persistent memory. So if you lose power, it doesn't wipe the memory off the DIMM. So they're building systems now that have it's intended for the server environment. It's very expensive, but you can get it where now they'll be able to employ terabytes of memory on a single server with uh, basically fault recovery. So instead of having, I'm not familiar with the latest technologies as far as mirroring servers and having, I know you can have a system where you've got a, a geographically located elsewhere server that would be backing up the server that's the primary, and they're both running in conjunction with each other across a high-speed network. But now you'll have a single server that can do fault recovery like that other distributed system would do. This is amazing. So yeah, they announced it's going to be coming out, and they have a new, uh, like they have their storage pyramid, and it shows memory at the top, uh, which is the DRAM, then the persistent memory in between, and then the storage memory buffer with the Optane, what they call Optane DC, and then the uh, storage tier below that. It's absolutely incredible what they're doing. I thought that was really cool. So look for that. It's going to be, I would say now it's not cost effective to put it into your desktop.
Well, it's going to get faster and faster and faster, which
Well,
is fine.
wasn't there besides Moore's law, wasn't there always that uh, conundrum where memory and processing would leap ahead of each other, and but they could never actually be on the same footing because one would be faster than the other. They would never have the, be equal at the same moment. And then you also had the pipeline issue where you've got, you only have so much data bandwidth between devices, and it keeps getting better, but they haven't invented anything new that really makes it so that the pipeline is no longer the bottleneck, that it's the endpoints of the processor.
I remember a meeting, a users group meeting, IBM or PC users group meeting back in the 80s, where somebody from IBM came to explain why their new, and I can't remember, was it a PS2? Was PS2 a new architecture, or that was just the keyboard and
CS2?
no, PS2.
Oh, PS2. Yeah, it was a microchannel.
Microchannel.
Yeah,
Microchannel.
it was IBM's attempt
Yep.
at um, pulling in when they had released the ISA architecture out to the world to say, here, build it, when they should have controlled it. They should have kept it private. But they released it out there. So their attempt to try to pull it back in again was to come out with microchannel and hope that that would be so impressive that everybody would be buying IBM machines and they would be the only people that made microchannel.
Yeah, I remember the guy explaining, and he's on the blackboard back then, and the slots and how data comes in and goes straight in, like into an intersection, and until it gets permission to turn to the right and go into the channel, versus the microchannel, which was round going in. So it's like you had that's the simple way that he explained it. Instead of a stop sign for the data to go into the system, it was a yield sign, and it would go in a lot faster, because that's where a lot of the bottleneck was, coming out of the hard drive and going into the system to be processed. It was very interesting. So it's they come up with more and more ways, because everything, the bottleneck is always pre-processor, I would say, and maybe even after the processor, but the processor is the fastest thing that happens there. And if you could feed it into the processor at the same speed, boy, also need a big fan. There's some news about Amazon and Whole Foods. Those of you that shop there, my wife is not listening. Amazon is planning to cut prices on hundreds of items at Whole Foods stores this week. That was last week. as the e-commerce giant seeks to change the chain's high-cost image amid intense competition among grocers. The price cuts affect more than 500 products and includes a focus on produce and meat, according to documents that were viewed by the Wall Street Journal. The move come after Whole Foods raised prices on select items in February. Most consumer products, as suppliers increase their prices because of higher transport and ingredient costs. So they raise the prices, now they're lowering them. But it's interesting to know. I mean, they were mentioning that meat, I mean, some Black Forest ham is going to go down by $3 a pound. Uh, there were other things that said $1 a pound. So
what they need is drone delivery of this stuff.
Yeah.
So you order your Black Forest ham, and an hour later it's delivered to your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people that are predicting the consolidation of retail to the point where most brick and mortar places close. Some might survive online, but for the most part, it's going to be absorbed by the Amazon cloud. And I don't mean cloud from
Yeah.
computing perspective. I mean cloud from
Storm,
a
you mean
marketing
storm,
perspective.
not cloud, storm.
Storm, yeah.
Yeah.
Morass, tar pit.
Now, Spence, you use an iPhone, right?
I do.
Gal, you use an iPhone, right? Gal?
No
Like,
sound,
is
no
he-
audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I use an Android.
Oh,
I need to get my
Spence-
battery replaced. All of a sudden now I'm having weird battery problems. My phone just turned 2 years old. I think it was built in that they would have the battery start to have problems right at 2 years old.
but that's got
I-
nothing to do with that. Anybody heard about a program called Spark Email
I've
on the
heard of it.
iPhone? You did?
I've heard of it, yeah.
So they say 12 years after its inception, Reddle, that's the name of the company, Reeddle, is finally venturing beyond Apple ecosystem with the launch last week of its Spark email app for Android. This comes on the heels of Google killing its own popular inbox email app. Spark Android app, like its iOS and macOS incarnations, include 3 key selling points. It is free for individual users. It does not serve ads. And it offers a host of features aimed at power users. Plus, it supports all major email providers, including Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, Apple. Spark for Android, like the now defunct Inbox app, sorts emails, prioritizing more important messages to help you reach inbox zero. It offers options to snooze an email and to schedule when an email should go out. You can also pin emails so that it is easier to find them later and get reminders to follow on previous conversations. I mean, this is interesting. Advanced search functionality lets you use conversational keywords to find things like that PDF file your boss sent last week. So how exactly does the Ukrainian headquartered company make money? Riddle offers a paid version of Spark that is aimed at small to medium-sized teams and enterprises. So I'm gonna try it for sure. I'm using, I can't remember what I used on the phone. I think with the arrow. It's not the one that was built in. It's a different one, and I don't like it much. But it's the one that works the best. So I'm gonna try this. This
You can
sounds
try it
great.
too, because I actually run 2 email clients on my iPhone. I have the Apple email client for my work email, and I have the Google email client for everything else. And I did that for a reason because I didn't like the way Google mixed different accounts on one app, and I found it confusing. And the Google, to me, the Google is like it's I prefer just a simple list of email. Their app is just like their calendar app. It's too flowery for me. It's too. I don't need all the colors. I
Well,
don't need all the uh
details?
there are things about it I just didn't like. I still use it, but
Mhm.
I would like to try this because if I can manage multiple accounts more easily on the same app, and I like some of the features you mentioned about queuing up an email to be sent later, that would be nice.
Yeah. Well, this has been available to your phone for 12 years apparently.
I, I know. I just never tried it. I
But
just didn't.
that's interesting that they're going to the Android. So yeah, I'm probably I'm probably gonna wait a few weeks to see how it's working, see what people say. Uh, but it sounds like a great program. So it's called Spark Email App, and it's made by Readle. Readle. And there's a, did you well, this is different. This is also Apple. After tearing apart Apple's new second generation iPods, the repair guide site iFixit found that there is no practical way to service or repair them, even at a professional shop. They labeled them as disappointingly disposable. iFixit had to go to almost comical lengths to open the AirPods up. And despite their expertise and tools, the iFixit team was unable to do so without permanently damaging the product. That's disappointing, given that the batteries in the AirPods won't last longer than a few years with heavy use, and they're hard to recycle. Apple does offer to recycle headphones through partners as part of their Apple blah 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 blah. But interesting. In order to open it to change batteries, you have to almost break them in a professional shop, unless Apple has different ways of doing it, which I kind of doubt. The other thing about them is they just released the fifth generation iPad Mini. So of course, the repair experts at iFixit needed to tear it apart. The new 7.9-inch tablet launched 2 weeks ago sticks to its roots as a revamp of the iPad Mini 4. According to iFixit teardown that was published Tuesday. One notable change is the battery connector design, which could prevent people trying to fix a device from accidentally killing the backlight during a repair. So that's nice. That's a good. The iFixit team calls this tweak nifty. iFixit also noted that both the screen and battery are difficult to remove. The removal of the display in particular is not, if not done carefully, could compromise the Touch ID technology. Battery and screen replacements are the two most common repairs, and the iPad Mini makes both unnecessarily difficult. The battery lacks pull to remove adhesive tab, and the display requires a tricky removal of the home button if you want to keep Touch ID after your repair. So they did something nice, but they also made it difficult to be accomplished. Um, it's just, I mean, I don't. This is why, and I say it again. This is why I don't like the new phones that you can't change the batteries because batteries don't last. And I like a phone that you can open the back of it, take out the battery, put another battery, and go.
Remember how we used to have 2 batteries? You'd have one in the
I
charger
still do.
and you swap it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still do. And every now and then, Kathy will come and say, "Oh, I forgot to plug my phone. I need to leave, and battery's dead." I said, "Okay, let me have it." Take it out of the charger, put it there, say bye. So I don't know. They don't want that to happen, I guess.
Mm. I'm gonna
And
have to take I'm before I head to Alaska this year, I've gotta go over to Apple, make an appointment. They will replace my battery for 49 bucks.
really,
So I'm not in. I checked my serial number to see if I was part of any special group, but I wasn't. Um,
so how
but they
long?
will. Huh?
How long has it been?
It's 2 years, just 2 years old.
Hmm.
And it's and I went through all the things you're supposed to do. I went and deleted apps I didn't want. I turned off background refresh on everything. I installed a few new apps recently that I don't think it changed. I don't think it was what triggered, or it could be what triggered the problem that it was sitting in the background. But apparently, you look at the battery monitoring software on the phone, and it says that I'm maximum now 85% capacity over the original. So I've already lost 15% of my battery time just from age. So I'm going to just replace the battery because I can't afford up there. I
Be
drive through a
without,
lot of
yeah,
areas with no service.
right.
And it's very hard for me to plug it into a charger. Really not even supposed to have my phone out when I'm working. It's supposed to be, in my kit.
Mhm.
So,
Uh, I understand that.
so
In the wilderness without a phone.
well, if I go on a wilderness trip, that's a really remote trip where there's no cell service for hours and hours, they give us a satellite phone.
Oh,
And that works, and I've used it. I've had to use it. I've had medical emergencies. I had to evacuate people in the middle of nowhere. So it works. You When we leave on those trips, all that stuff is ready for us charged, but we have to call in from the yard before we even leave just to show them that we have they actually have a step in your process of leaving where it says you have to call in and tell them how many call minutes you still have on the phone. Because when you use that phone, when you dial, it will go through a series of tests, and it will also have an automated voice come back and say, you have so many minutes. And you have to tell them what those minutes are before you go to make sure that the account is up to date. But yeah, I've
yeah.
used it several times with emergencies.
Um, I'm reading here in the chat, and Wiggs is saying, "I put a Samsung 2.0 2 amp fast charger on my little Alcatel. Wrecked the battery life."
Yeah, probably couldn't handle the 2 amps. Yeah, I got to be careful about that because there are chargers out there now that are especially older phones, smaller phones. Um, that's why they had proprietary chargers because they didn't have a standard charging, a charger standard, I should say. And it was important not to whack them out. Typical 5-volt USB charge is I think this is like one amp maximum. And
Yeah.
then if you get up into the higher ones, you have to make sure your device can handle it. So what happened to Amnon?
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay, sorry, you're there.
No, I mean, bigger is not better.
No,
Faster
I
is
have
not
some of
better.
those power strips that have a bunch of USBs in them,
Mhm.
and they're very handy. But they're labeled that says this is a 1 amp port, this is a 2.5 amp port, and be careful with all the devices. I haven't seen any issues with
Yeah.
um, stuff that I use. I had a weird issue last year when I was away. I had a Plantronics, really a wireless slash USB speakerphone. Excellent device, really nicely made. Has its own wireless adapter that you can take it from underneath and plug it into your PC and make it into a speakerphone. excellent audio quality for playback, which is why I use it now. I don't use it for the speakerphone feature. But I was plugging it in and it wasn't charging, and I get this red flashing indication um, on the speakerphone itself. It's like, oh,
Mm.
the battery's bad. So I ordered a new battery. I put the new battery in it. Same thing. Turns out I was using a charger that didn't provide enough. It was I don't even know where I got it. It was a no name little plug-in USB charger. Apparently, this charger didn't provide enough amps for this thing to charge right. Needed a 2 amp charger. So I was surprised, but now I learned something. Oh
Well,
well.
it's you can get in trouble with these things. Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Is it that time? Stan?
No, I just was checking the time. It's 10:53.
53. Gal,
Yes.
you're quiet.
Well, it's either this or you hear me sneezing.
you-
So
Are you are you are you feeling worse? The Gal has a cold.
I'm okay. The nice thing about our technology is that we don't need to sit in the same room, so I don't
Yeah.
need to infect everyone.
No.
But
Yep.
yeah, been just threw me down to the floor a couple of days ago.
Trying to remember what changed this week. I can think about anything. Oh, I had a camera, here that I use to capture two people. Those of you that
Yeah.
watch some shows, two people sit and talk to each other. And normally the BNI show is when I use it. And I started, and I can get that camera to show up. Oh, no big deal. So see, the connection, just taken out and it came back. I said, okay. 5 minutes before the show, it went out again. And no, it froze. Yeah, it went out. It froze the picture. I said, what's
Fun.
going on? So I went and the converter from SDI to HDMI to SDI and all that. I figured, something is working. So I unplugged, I put a new converter, and it came on. Okay, well, that was it. No big deal. Well, in the middle of the show, like 20 minutes into the show, boom, froze. So I still have two cameras, one of the host and one of the guests. So I started switching between them and not have a camera that show. And while I was doing it, I went down and sat on the ottoman and said, come on, what is the problem? Couldn't figure out what the problem was. Toward the end of the show, I mean, it would come on, it would come back, and it will freeze again. And toward the end of the show, I realized that the HDMI cable, if I move it, it comes back. It's plugged right in, and if I move the cable, it comes back. I said, okay, so the cable is bad. So I bent it to the way that it works, and I put a rubber band on it, and everything worked. And there was another show afterwards, and everything worked fine. After all the shows were over, and I didn't need any more, I took out the rubber band, and sure enough,
Froze.
it would freeze. And that's a name brand HDMI extension cable.
Yeah, but did it get a Windows 10 update?
No, I got a cord update. I went and that was actually very nice. I liked the fact that it was an extension cord was great, because what I did is it comes out on the other side of the desk here. And I said, oh geez, I have to run it through all this. But no, I plugged it in. I put piece of tape around it so it doesn't come out, and I pulled it, and it pulled the new one in. And I mean,
Oh yeah.
took a minute, and everything was back. And so far, everything is okay. But it's amazing how, and this is not a cable that was under any kind of stress. It's just sitting there, never moves, never moves.
That's the problem. You see, it needs to move from time to time.
Amazing. Name brand. So I bought. I had a replacement here, but I realized, oh, I don't have any more. So I bought the Amazon Basics, the
I
cheap
tried to
ones.
convince him, Gal, to go over to Best Buy with me and buy a monster cable for $100, but he didn't want to do it.
What's that?
I tried to get you to go to Best Buy and buy a
No. What is
monster
that?
cable
What is that
for
picture?
$100.
What's that picture?
What is that photo?
What is
Oh
that?
no, you got to you got to watch this. This is a video. I just found this.
Oh, don't
is
put
like
it
the-
on. Don't put it on.
Why?
We're going to be flagged.
Well, this is showing some. Oh yeah, it was showing
No.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
I can
don't-
show a couple of seconds of it.
No, it's enough
Nothing?
for them to say that it's copyrighted.
Okay. So
Send the
you
link.
can't reproduce
Yeah.
it. All
You
right.
can put it. You
Send
can put it. You can put the link to it in
I'll
the
put a
chat.
link to it. Yeah, I'll do that.
In the chat, and then
I will do that. It is
um,
amazing. It's
we're still seeing.
it's a
Okay. there you go.
rocket suit or personal jet suit.
Yeah.
Woo.
Amazing, and it's not faked. This is incredible. All right, I'm going to put it in the chat.
All right. Well,
Looks like
it's that
another
time of
chat.
day. If there's nothing else that we need to talk about, guess I'll go outside and help the wife do some more work.
AccuWeather?
That's where I found it. I was checking the weather for this afternoon, and the link was there to this story.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I'm-
actually an AccuWeather video, which is so amazing.
I noticed. I mean, we had that problem last week and a week before. That apparently, it was the problem with the chat was there since we moved to the new operating system and new PHP. And sure enough, this chat program is probably about 10 years old, and it will not allow you to show links.
To click the links.
Oh, to click
Yeah.
the links. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is an update to it. I don't know that will take care of it. That is about 5 years or whatever. I asked Ron to install it and see if that will take care of it. I just don't want to give up this chat because it works great and it doesn't depend on anybody out there.
Yeah.
So sorry, guys, if you can't click on it.
Spence, that's cool.
Isn't that
That is
something?
Iron Man cool.
I was thinking the same thing. Iron Man. It's these tiny turbojet engines that enable this thing to work. It's incredible.
All
I
right.
mean, the fact that they don't tear his hands off is
Well, it looks like they have the hands are inserted into something, and maybe there's some kind of articulating hardware involved.
What do you
that
call it?
help him,
What do you call those?
But the fact that it's 4 jets too, four thrusters, is enough to overcome his weight.
that is-
But yeah, it's Iron Man, and they did it in New York City.
How long can they?
I haven't read the rest of the story yet. This was just
Oh.
a video, so I'm sure there's
Recharge
probably a link in here
drone.
somewhere to the company.
yeah, Gravity Industries.
Yeah.
Gravity.co. Cool. Really cool.
Next week you will have a review of it, Gal.
Ah,
Only if you feel better. I don't want to push you.
well, I mean, if you really want to send me over there and interview, have a
Th-
test run.
What interview? I want you to get one.
This is at. I just realized what I'm seeing here. I said it was in New York City. It's on the Intrepid,
Yeah.
on the Aerospace Museum, that they're showing it.
All right.
Played. Okay.
Well, I didn't notice that Mike was gone too.
He's been gone for
realized it about
45 minutes.
half an hour ago.
Yeah.
What Mike? But he did say that he was going to leave when specials come up. Had to go. All right. So thanks, Spence. Thanks, Gal. Gal, when is Passover starting?
Passover is starting
Not this week.
in
Not this week.
10 days, something like that.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to you before then.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, guys. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, update your virus scanner, and back up your hard drive. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, it's probably a rerun of Nick's show since he's en route to Vegas. I doubt he's going to do a live show, but Mike's show is at 9, the Crypto Culture Show. Both these shows are on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7 FM, and you can listen on TuneIn. The link is under links, the left nav bar. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.